Hello everybody, welcome to Zero to Hero in Arabic course. In previous part 1, we had some spoken terms, conversation about learning Arabic and words of lesson. But in this part 2 of lesson 9, we're gonna be talking about past tense verbs that the last two letters are the same and past tense verbs that the last letter of the root is alif. In lesson 8, we discussed two types of the conjugation. If you haven't watched them, make sure to watch them because it's really crucial to understand this lesson. Okay, let's get into that. Alright folks, in previous lesson we understood that in order to conjugate the Arabic verbs, first of all we need to know the roots of the verbs. Then, with adding some changes, we can conjugate them to other people. In previous lesson, in lesson 8, we discussed two types of the conjugation. Let's look at them. Okay guys, we actually have 4 types of the roots in order to conjugate. In previous lesson, we had 2 types of the root. The first one was simple form of the root. For example, kitib, huwa kitib, and hiye kitbet, and so on. And the second root was middle letter is alif, like shaf. And these types of the roots have specific changes. Okay, they're not same. If you haven't watched the previous lesson, I put the link, you can watch them. But in today's lesson, the third types of the verb was the last 2 letters are the same. The letters that have tashdid, the vowel, we pronounce the vowel twice, like habba. Okay? But the last root is which the last letter is alif, like misha. Okay, it's written mishi, but we have to read it misha. Okay, in order to conjugate the root of the verbs that the last 2 letters of them are the same, like habba, that they have a tashdid, we're gonna have different changes. But for huwa, hiya, humma, and hinna, we're gonna do same changes that we had in the previous lessons. Okay? Then we're gonna have same changes here. But for inta, inti, intu, and intin, we're gonna have different changes. Okay? Huwa hab. We don't have any changes here, and it means he loved or he liked. Huwa hab. Hiya habbat. We add at to this one, and it means she loved. And humma habbaw. We add out to this one, and it basically means they loved. But this is masculine. But feminine, for feminine, we have hinna habben. We add an, hinna habben, they loved, but it refers to female. But for conjugating these pronouns, for mutakallim and mukhatab, we're gonna have some different changes. For example, in previous lesson we added just it, but here we have to add yet. For example, انت حبيت. You loved. It refers to male and it's singular. You loved. Okay? But in previous lessons we said انت, for example, انت جبت. We just added it to that. Okay? انتي حبيتي. You loved. It refers to female. inti حبيتي. We add yeti here, but in previous lesson we just added t. For example, inti jibti, inti jibti. You brought. It's a past tense of the bring. You brought. Inti jibti. Into حبيتو. Into حبيتو. We added here إيتو into حبيتو, and it means you loved. It's a plural and it refers to male. You loved. But for female plural, we say intin حبيتن. We add إيتن here. Intin حبيتن. You loved. Okay? But remember, we just add ye to those roots that the last two letters are the same, or they have a tashdid. We just add these ye to these roots, okay? أني حبيت. أني حبيت. I loved. We add yet here. أني حبيت. إحنا حبينا. إحنا حبينا. We loved. We loved. And we add here ينا. إحنا حبينا. Alright folks, the fourth and the last root of the verb is the root that the last letter of it is elif. For example, here we have mishe. Mishe. It's written mishi, but we have to read it mishe. Okay? Because in Arabic, verbs are not normative and everybody write them in a way they want, okay? Then they are not normative in Arabic. Huwa misha is the root and it basically means he walked. It's a past tense. And let's conjugate them one by one. Huwa misha. Huwa misha. Huwa misha. It means he walked. He walked. But in these types of the verbs, in these types of the root, elif at the end of the root, they have to be deleted. Okay? We have to delete them and we have to add them some letters and some signs. Okay? Huwa misha and hiya mishit. Hiya mishit. We have to delete alif from them. Okay? Hiya mishit. In these pronouns, huwa, hiya, humma, and hinna, elif at the end of the roots, all of them must be deleted. Hiya mishit, she walked, she walked, hiya mishit, and humma mishu, humma mishu, they walked. It's a plural and it's in a masculine. Humma mishu, they walked. But for feminine plural, we say hinna mishin. Hinna mishin. They walked. They walked. It's a plural and for female. Hinna mishin. In ghaib, we deleted alif. But in mukhatab and mutakallim, not only we have to delete alif, but also we have to add some letters and signs like yet. For example, inte mishit. Inte mishit. We add yet to this one. Inte mishit. You walked. You walked. It refers to male. You walked. And for female, we say inti mishiyati. Inti mishiyati. You walked for female. And for plural, we say into mishiyatu. Into mishiyatu. It's plural, we say it for a group of people, and it's for male. But for female plural, we say intin mishiyatin. Intin mishiyatin. You walked. As I said before, the simple roots, we just add to them et. But here, we have to add them yet, not et. For example, in the simple roots, we just say any gibbet, any gibbet. But here, For the roots that the last letter of them is alif, we have to add yet, not et. For example, ani mishiyet, ani mishiyet. But for simple roots, we say ani jibit. We add et, but here we have to add yet. Ani mishiyet. I walked. I walked. But for we say إحنا مشينا. إحنا مشينا. We walked. We walked. For example, there's an Arabic song. صدفة رحت صدفة جينا. صدفة رحت. Accidentally we went. And صدفة جينا. And accidentally we came. Accidentally or suddenly we came. As you see, جينا is types of these roots. Okay, جينا مشينا. Alright guys, and these are some root of the verbs, root of the past tense verbs in order to master to conjugating. And these are the roots that the last two letters are the same, that they have a tashdid, and the roots that the last letter of them alif, okay, or alif, okay. Let's get into them. The first one is ije, ije, ije. Ije basically means came. For example, huwa ije, he came. Daz, daz, it basically means sent. Daz, daz. As you see, in this root, the last two letters is the same. And then we have to add to this root in order to conjugate it. We have to add some sign that previously I taught you. And the third one is gus, gus, gus. It basically means cut, and it's past tense verb. Gus. It basically means cut. Gus. Shag, shag. As you see, this one is also types of the root that the last two letter is the same. The last vowel, we have to read the last vowel twice. Shag. And it basically means ripped or torn. Ishtara, ishtara, ishtara. It's written ishtari, but we have to read it ishtara. It basically means he bought. It's a past tense of buying, okay? Ishtara. In this one, as you see, this root has 5 letters, but in previous lessons we said that the roots have 3 letters, but sometimes we have 3 letters in roots, but sometimes we have 5 letters in a root, okay? But the roots that have 5 letters or 4 letters are less than 3 letters. Ishtara. And lige, lige. Lige basically means found or discovered. Lige. And the last letter of lige is alif. Lige. It's written ligi, but we have to read it lige. Then, in order to conjugate this root, as I said, we have to delete the alif at the end of the root. Okay, lige. Nata, nata. As you see, the last letter of nata is alif. Nata, and it basically means gave. He gave. Qara, qara, qara. Qara means read, and it's past tense and root. Qara, qara. And hatta, hatta. Hat means put or placed. Put in or placed. Hatta, hat. And this one is the root that the last 2 letters are the same. They have a tashdid. Sawa, sawa. Sawa means did. He did. Sawa. And the last letter of the sawa is alif. Sawa, sawa. but it's written سوي. بنى 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 means built or made. بنى, and the last letter of it is ألف. بنى. سد 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 means closed. نسى 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 means forgot. He forgot. نسى نسى, the last letter is ألف. حكى حكى, he spoke or he told. حكى حكى, and the last one مشى مشى. مشى means walked. He walked. مشى. Okay guys, now we have done with this lesson, but in order to master the conjugate Arabic verbs, you need to surround yourself with these verbs, with these fruit, and start to conjugate them to others. The more you conjugate the verbs, the more mastered you become. Thank you for tuning to this video. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss our future lessons. Thank you for watching. Take care.